Okay. Can I see some faces? We will start the session. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वार्यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये ततो जयमुदीरये। So, I think we finished the Matsyavatara. Oh no, Markandeya. Anybody, did we start with this Markandeya and the Bhargava? Oh yes, we did. So Ugrashava, when he was telling the story, told by Shuka to Parikshit, Shaunaka suddenly says, but Markandeya was also a Bhargava just like us. How is it that he experienced the Mahapralaya? He asked this question. Ugrashava. He says, as far as I know, Markandeya has been born in our clan, the clan of Bhargavas. We have known him since he was born and we have not witnessed any deluge. So how is it possible that Markandeya has witnessed? Because in our minds, any deluge is that the world itself is destroyed. It says the world itself is destroyed, but how can the... Now, if the world is destroyed, if a Mahapralaya has happened, it should happen to all. Because for us, it looks like the world is just one. We are looking at the world outside. We think the world is outside. So we think when Pralaya happens, it should happen to everybody. So if a Mahapralaya has happened to somebody in our generation itself, how is it that I have not seen that Mahapralaya happening? Anybody wants to answer this question? Why is it that... yes, please.
Hello. What question? Just now I came. Sorry. Became late.
Question is, I think we went through all of this, so I'm just asking a question here. Why is it that the question being asked by Shaunaka here is, I have also seen Markandeya from when he was small. We are all of the same clan, same time. Markandeya experienced Mahapralaya. But I have not experienced a Mahapralaya, even though I am of the same time era as Markandeya. Why is it that we have not experienced it, but Markandeya has experienced this Mahapralaya? Why? We have heard that on the waters of the ocean, he saw the Lord in the form of a child lying on the Ashwatha leaf with his lotus hands holding the great toe of his lotus foot to his lips with a smile of contentment. Please tell us this puzzle. How is it that Markandeya has seen it and we have not seen it? Pralaya means what? What does Mahapralaya mean? Anybody? I think we've gone through these things. Yeah, we have gone through all of this. What is a Mahapralaya? What is a Mahapralaya?
The
What
end
is
of
a
that
Pralaya?
era.
Yes, Divaji.
The end of that particular era.
An end of a particular era. So you mean the world ends?
Yeah, means something that is as like we are a new time to begin. That is, we have something is getting over and new enlightenment.
So why is it that Markandeya and Shaunaka, who were of the same period, did not experience the Mahapralaya? When Markandeya experienced it, why is it that Shaunaka did not experience it?
Sure, ma'am.
Anybody? According to you, Divaji, Pralaya is for the... I'm trying to try and lead you to it. Okay? If you
Yes,
will.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you can call me Aarti, Divaji. So the Pralaya, if it is happening, Pralaya is happening to
the ones who have not been enlightened.
what is undergoing the Pralaya? The world?
Yes. Once that.
What is undergoing the Pralaya?
All the physical being.
The body, mind.
The body, mind. Okay. So if it body, mind. Okay. So what does the body, mind represent?
All the
Physical beings also, whatever. Let us go with the body, mind. Body, mind, what does it represent?
Kind of a cleansing, ma'am.
Impermanence.
It represents impermanence.
Something which is not temporary.
So,
Ashashvata.
Ashashvata. The body and mind is Ashashvata. What is Ashashvata? Is
something which will perish.
Something which will perish. So, the body and mind is Ashashvata, and hence the world is Ashashvata. Do we agree?
Ma'am, would it be like everything needs that is Ashashvata needs an end and a new beginning has to come?
Everything But what is the connection between the body, mind and the world? Now please come to this.
Because it is our perception, no? The world.
The world is why is the world our perception?
Because it is a perception of the body, mind.
We believe in what we see than what we feel.
We believe in what we see rather than what is.
What is?
What is the world called in Sanskrit?
Samsara.
That is cycle of life. Okay.
Mm.
Another word, world.
Vishwam.
Correct.
Prithvi.
Prithvi.
Loka.
All these, I'm looking for a certain word, but all these are not wrong. Whatever you say.
Jagat. Jagat.
Yes. Jagat is the word I'm looking at.
Bhuloka.
Bhuloka.
Jagat Mithya, that's what they say, right?
Correct. So, the pralaya happens to the
Jagat.
Jagat. So, what is this Jagat? Is this Jagat a common world that all of us see? Or our subjective reality?
Subjective reality.
It is our subjective reality. And so this subjective reality of how we see the world through our body-mind complex is ashashvata. With all these connections, now tell me, why is it that Shaunaka was not able to experience what Markandeya had experienced? Now, we have gone to that, right? Now again, coming back to the question, why did Shaunaka not experience it, whereas Markandeya experienced it, even though they were in the same time period?
You mean to say
Related with Pralaya.
Markandeya did not experience the Pralaya? That's what you mean?
Markandeya did not experience the Pralaya.
Ah.
Okay. Anything else, please?
I think she was asking, ma'am.
Are you asking me, Annapurna ji?
Yeah. He
No.
did not. He did not experience the Pralaya in spite
No,
of
here
being
he
in
is saying Markandeya experienced the Pralaya.
Oh, okay.
He's saying Markandeya has experienced the Pralaya.
But he was not hurt during the Pralaya. That's what he said.
Now connect this with the Jagat Mithya. Now connect it with the body-mind complex.
Because the Shaunakas were in that
Maybe
physical.
I don't know the story of Markandeya. Actually, Markandeya comes in many of the things. Markandeya Uvacha. It comes.
Markandeya experiences a Mahapralaya. He experiences a Mahapralaya, and we have seen how, Markandeya was seated in a yogic trance. Indra was trying to lure him away, but he was absolutely doing his tapasya. He was into tapas, swadhyaya and samyama. This is all he was doing all the time. He stood up with great excitement and he did argya, padya. His mind was always devoted to the Lord. So he knew the wonders. He knew that Brahma, Mahadeva and you are all the Atman inside me. So he is beyond time. He knows everything and then he experiences. He asks this question, Markandeya. I want to know what is a pralaya, and he actually experiences a pralaya that happens. In that pralaya, he sees the Vatapatra Shahi, the beautiful Krishna, lying down on a banyan leaf, sucking his left thumb with his right hand, holding it and putting it in his mouth and sucking the left thumb. And in a second, Markandeya, the moment he sees this PP, he wonders who it is and he gets sucked into Krishna. The whole world gets into that baby. And then just when he is thinking, he's everything, and suddenly after a while, everything comes out and he sees himself outside. He sees this complete deluge which has gone into Krishna and the complete, then he is coming out also. This is his experience. This was the Mahapralaya he experienced. But why did not Shaunaka experience this? What is Mahapralaya? We said Jagat is, so the Pralaya we relate it with the Jagat, correct? Pralaya we relate it with the Jagat. Jagat is one's subjective reality. You people only said that. So if Jagat is subjective reality and the Pralaya happens to the Jagat, then why did Markandeya experience it and Shaunaka not experience it? Very difficult question. What is this? Just tell us. No?
What is Shaunaka? Who is Shaunaka?
Shaunaka and Ugrashrava. Initially, when we started, Ugrashrava and Shaunaka are sitting in Naimisharanya. There are thousands of sages sitting there and saying Kali Yuga is coming. Now, what are all the things that the people need to know? What are all the scriptures? How do we make sure that the people of this world are able to live consciously? What are all the relevant scriptures? So they're all coming together. So Shaunaka is asking this question to Ugrashrava, or Romaharshan also is his name. And he is answering these questions. As he was telling this, he says, Bhagavatam, Shukamuni also asked, Parikshit also asked this question to Shukamuni. And Shukamuni gave the Bhagavatam to Parikshit. I will tell you the Bhagavatam. And so now whatever story Shukamuni has told Parikshit is being retold by Ugrashrava to Shaunaka. Shaunaka is now the one of the sages listening to the Bhagavatam from Ugrashrava in Naimisharanya. Making sense, or is it too confusing? Okay. So he is saying it is in our times Markandeya also experienced. Why? Because that Jagat was destroyed for whom?
Shaunaka.
Markandeya.
For Markandeya. The Mahapralaya was destruction of the Jagat for Markandeya, because the Jagat is destroyed means the Mithya, the Jagat Mithya. That Maya was destroyed.
But how did he not feel it?
Shaunaka didn't feel it. Markandeya felt it.
Oh, okay. All along I was thinking the other, okay.
Shaunaka didn't feel it. Shaunaka is asking the question. I am also of the same time as Markandeya, but Markandeya experienced it. I didn't experience it. Why? So the world is not outside. That is what is being established here. The world, in that that statement, it is saying the world is not whatever we are experiencing as this world, we are experiencing it on the screen of our consciousness only. Within. It's all on the screen of our consciousness. So that Jagat is Mithya, it is Asat, it is impermanent. And that impermanent ego, mind, body equipment was destroyed in Markandeya. Hence, it is not that the whole world will be, that is Mahapralaya. It is not that the whole world is immersed in some water or something. This Mahapralaya is smaller than there is another one, Brahma, when the whole thing is this thing. Yes, Divyaji.
Ma'am, this Markandeya is same Markandeya, I mean, who has got a short life and whose parents I mean, whose father is
It was
given the.
Nachiketa, right?
No. That is a Markandeya who goes beyond time.
Is this the same?
Yeah, it is the same one. He's the same. There is a story of Markandeya when he was born, when the baby was going to be born. The parents didn't have a child for a very long time. So then Markandeya, their parents do a lot of tapas, and God tells them, you will get a baby, but you have to choose. Do you want a child who can have you will have a very sattvic child who is only 16 years old, or you can have a child who is not manda buddhi he is, but he will live for a longer time. And the parents chose him. They said we will have a sattvic child who is very smart, a sattvic child, even though he has short life. So when the time came for Markandeya at 16 years, when he was supposed to be taken away by the Yamaduta, he sees the Yamadutas and then he runs to Lord Shiva. He was always praying Lord Shiva. He goes to the linga and he hugs the linga. So that was the only place where Yama's Dutas cannot go, because Yama's Dutas can go only to a place which is in this Jagat, when a person is within the Jagat. Now, when Markandeya hugged Lord Shiva, he became one with Lord Shiva and he became Kalatita. He went beyond time, which means he, in a way, Yamadutas could not take him. He attained an enlightenment at that time, if you understand. So he was frozen in time. It is like he went Kala. They say he became Kalatita. He went beyond 16 years. Beyond time, which means he was enlightened in a way when you go beyond that. And hence, Yama's Dutas could not take him away anymore. Only as long as we are in this mind and body, Yama can come as we face. What does it happen? Yama comes and takes us because we die. Only when we are still attached and identified with the body-mind complex, I will face death. The moment we are identified with the supreme reality, the consciousness, the awareness, the being within, which is beyond time, which is beyond all gunas, which is nirakara, nirvikara, no taint on it, cannot be tainted at all. All of these qualities, when one is identified with this self, the awareness, the bigger I, like the sun, instead of being identified with that moon which is borrowing its light from the sun, be identified with that Paramatma, the sun, the higher being, the self within. When we are identified with that, death is not, what happens is not death. It is liberation. Raghuramji saying, I keep saying this again, as long as our vasanas are there, before we move out of this body, we face death. But if the vasanas die before we leave this body, there is no rebirth. We have attained liberation. So our attachment to the body-mind complex limits us. Our attachment to that supreme, permanent, eternal reality, which is the awareness, the self, the higher self within, only that is permanent. When we attach with that, we also become permanent. That is why Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, all these, we also become eternal. Because the only reality is that. Did it become clear or did I confuse you all more? When we ask questions, I think it makes us think a little more. So, now we will move to the vision seen by, we also saw this. Vision seen by Markandeya. Didn't we? Or did we not? We'll read this. On the banks of the river Pushpabhadra in the ashrama built for himself on the rock Chitra, Markandeya. Can anybody else read for me, please?
I can read. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
The vision seen by Markandeya. On the banks of the river Pushpabhadra, in the ashram built for himself on the rock Chitra, Markandeya spent his time in prayer, in meditation, and in remembering the glorious day when the Lord had appeared before him in the form
We
of
have also
Nara
done
and
this.
Narayana.
Narayana.
He saw the Lord
Hmm.
and only the Lord in everything, and sometimes so absorbed would he be in the thoughts of him that he would forget even the daily worship and the daily rituals he would normally go through. Means that is Aikya, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. One
Totally
day,
in Samadhi state. He has no
yes, no
uh,
bother
no
of the
try.
world.
He's not even with time in any way.
Time, yes.
Hmm.
One day, all of a sudden, a strong wind began to blow. It was a fierce storm, and along with it came heavy rain cloud. Thunder seemed to crash from rock to rock, and lightning lit up the entire place with incessant flashes. Suddenly, it began to rain. It was no ordinary rain. The drops fell in a continuous stream, and the stream was as thick as the spoke of a wheel. The four seas were filled up as soon as they were about to meet. The earth was hidden, and all that could be seen were the immense sea lions and sharks and whales and crocodiles. There were whirlpools everywhere, and they were sucking up all that came within their grasp. The noise of the rain and the tumult of the ocean were deafening and fierce. Means now the experience of pralaya is happening.
Yes.
Even as he was looking, Markandeya saw the earth disappear in the waters of the ocean, and he was frightened at the sight. Very soon, the highlands and the mountains also went under the waters. Not under the waters. The line which divided the sky from the earth was not seen, since the earth was not there. He saw the other two worlds and the devas and the stars also being swallowed up by the waters. He found himself floating about in the water like some float sap. I don't know what is that. Without any destination, without any sense of direction. He was tormented by hunger and thirst. The fish and sharks and whales were fearful, and there was nothing but darkness around him. He was whirling like driftwood, and he was extremely frightened and lonely. He would be caught up in a whirlpool once, and when he was thrown out of it, a huge wave would toss him here and there. All the fears which he had thought he had conquered came to him all together. He was feeling distressed because of sickness, and he was sad. He felt deluded and frightened. He thought he was going to die, and he dreaded the thought. At the same time, he knew that he had once conquered death, and yet now he was actually afraid that he was going to die. So he drifted about, tossed by the waves and tossed about by his own fears and pain. All of a sudden, while he was thus floating, Markandeya saw a beautiful Ashwatha tree at a distance. He could see the burden of the new leaves on the branches, and it was a big tree. He could see clearly one of the branches leaning towards the spot where he was. On a leaf of Ashwatha tree, the rishi saw a strange sight. He saw a child sleeping on the leaf of the Ashwatha. The glow from the child was so great that it pierced the blinding darkness around him. The child was dark like an emerald. The face was beautiful like a lotus. The neck was lovely like a conch. The child had a wide chest and his nose was chiseled. The curls from his head fell on his face and his breath
Try
played
to visualize this,
the
everybody.
breath, played softly with them. The ears, like shells, were bearing the flowers of the pomegranate. There was a slight smile on the coral lips of the child. With his tender hands, the child had taken hold of his foot and foot placed the lotus-like foot onto his lips and was sucking the toe ecstatically. Markandeya saw the child, and he could not take his eyes away from the heap of beauty which met his eyes. When he saw the child, the rishis found that all his fatigue had left him. His eyes were wide open, drinking the beauty of the child, and his heart was filled with joy. He felt within himself who the child was. Still, he went nearer to see the child at closer range. When he went near, he found that the breath of the child was pulling him. Markandeya entered the child's body along with a breath from him, like a mosquito. When he was inside, the rishi found the world as it was before the rains came. Amazed at the sight, Markandeya kept looking around. He saw the entire earth. He saw the heavens and the sky studded with stars. The mountains were there, the islands and the four quarters with the devas guarding them. He saw the asuras. He saw forests, cities, and all the ashramas, and he saw the Himavat, the river Pushpabhadra, and the rock Chitra, and his ashram on top of it. Suddenly, he was thrown out by an expiration from the child, and he found himself on the waters once again. He could still see the child and drawn towards it. He swam towards it to embrace it. The child vanished from there. The Ashwatha tree vanished, and the waters and the tossing waves. Markandeya found that he was on firm land, on the firm floor of his own ashrama.
Wha-
So
Yes.
that's how he escaped the pralaya, is it?
What was the pralaya that happened?
Yeah.
What exactly happened? The Ashwatha tree vanished in the waters. So when he was inside, the rishi found the world as it was
Yeah.
before the rains came and all. He saw the heaven, he saw everything. He saw the Himavat, the river Pushpabhadra, everything. Suddenly he was thrown out by an expiration from the child, and he found himself on the waters once again. And he could still see the child, and drawn towards it, he swam. The child vanished from there. The Ashwatha tree vanished, and the waters and the tossing waves vanished. Markandeya found that he was on firm land, on the firm floor of his own ashrama. So, what exactly happened to Markandeya?
He experienced the godhood in him itself, I think, and then
Yes.
he came back to the reality. I mean, the real world or Maya or whatever you say.
Yeah, I
He
like
experienced that
Yes.
godhood in him.
So there was a glimpse of enlightenment is a form when people have this experience of enlightenment, it is like this. It is a very intuitive seeing, where they now see what is real and understand that what they are seeing through these eyes are actually not real. They have an intuitive experience. They have a direct, that is now Markandeya's direct perception. he has experienced an intuitive experience of being in and out, of he is seeing the birth and the death, birth and the death, Sarga and Laya. Sarga and Laya. He saw Sarga is creation and Laya. So now where did all this come from? Everything went into Krishna and everything came out of Krishna, Krishna's mouth. So like that, this whole Jagat, which is my subjective reality, goes into Krishna, the consciousness or the awareness. It rises from there and it goes back into that. Because I get a feeling, I get a thought. Where does it go after that? I don't see it falling off anywhere. I may act on it. I may talk it out. If I talk it out, fine. I have acted on it. But sometimes there are just those feelings which just come and then they just die out also, right? Where do they come from? Where do they go to? It is Krishna. Krishna is that self, that in that ocean, in that bigger, cosmic ocean. He is lying down. He is lying down in that cosmic ocean. We are all the waves in that cosmic ocean. Any thought that comes has to come from the ocean into the wave. And then it goes back into the ocean from the wave. But can I say the wave is separate from the ocean, that there is a separate wave at all? The wave is the ocean. Isn't it? So we are all part of him, like the cells in our body. Can I say I am different from the cells or the cells are different from me? It's all integrated. It is all one. Like that, we are all cells in his body. Our feelings, thoughts, desires, body, everything has come from him and goes back into him. And Markandeya had this intuitive experience. We can hear so many great rishis talking about their intuitive experience. When we say Ramana Maharishi, he went into what is death? And he started, but first he was gripped with fear. Oh, who is fear? Who is afraid? Who is dying? Instead of being gripped into fear, what did Ramana Maharishi do? He tried to understand what was happening. Understanding not the process, but who is dying? Who is afraid? The one who is afraid is dying. But who is the one experiencing this fear? He went on to inquire like that. Like that, you will see many I have heard, enlightenment experiences. I know there was one friend, you can say friend, she was a dancer and very spiritual dancer, very, very pulled to spirituality and would express it through her dance. There was one day, there was her guru was singing this song on Brahmam Okate. Brahmam Okate, there is only one God. God is only one. There is only one God, Allah. God, there is only God. Okay, Brahmam Okate. It says, and her guru was dancing and she was in the Nattuvana, the one who puts the tala and all that for the leg beat, no? That one. And at the end of it, her guru, when she had to say Brahma Mokate, Parabrahma Mokate, she had to show it in different ways. So she came and fell she knew the choreography, and she knew that her guru is going to come and fall at all the singers and the artists' feet to say that there is God in everybody. And at that time, she had this very deep thing. Oh my God, how can she is my guru? How can she fall at my feet? That huge, she was like dreading that moment when her guru will fall at her feet. She was so filled with that thing in a moment. But what when happened when her teacher came there and did that, she had that absolute blast of that oneness feeling at that time. She felt very strongly that in that oneness, she and the guru are the same, and there's something much bigger around her. There is a feeling of this oneness at that point. So there is an intuitive experience when we really, really divulge and, when that inquiry, that sense of this, when we really, how would I say that, our mumukshutva, when it is very high, our curiosity or our strong desire to understand this knowledge, when it is very high, it comes in the form of an experience, an intuitive experience, which I have not thought about. But the more and more we contemplate, the more and more we think we have these intuitive experiences. So what Markandeya experienced was that intuitive experience. And then what happens? Whatever probably right now we know, we are telling from our intellect, Jagat is Mithya, Brahman is only Satyam, and okay, what we are seeing with our eyes, it is only, whatever we are, it becomes a direct perception. I know it. I know it. It becomes like that when it becomes a direct perception. Pratyaksha Pramana. It becomes. Right now, what we are going through is Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana is we are reading the scriptures to understand. It is like saying, when I have milk, that milk, if I ask you, is there ghee in it? You will say there's no ghee in the milk if you just see it. But then if somebody who has done the process goes through, writes down step by step, how to, you have to put curd, when it curdles, then you start churning, then you take the butter, then you have to boil it, and then you will get the ghee. If that is told to you, so now you are like, oh, wow. So there must be, the scriptures are telling that it has ghee in it. So maybe there is ghee, and I am on. But then when you go through the process and you actually get the ghee, then it becomes your. So first step, when you are getting it from the scriptures, whoever or the person who has written it down, then it is Shabda Pramana. Some expert who has gone through that process is telling us. That is Shabda Pramana. I believe, I have faith in this person and I am listening to them. But then when I go through that process and then I finally get the ghee out of it, then it becomes Pratyaksha Pramana. Now nobody can refute it. And all answers are very clearly. Obviously, I have to just do this, and you will get the ghee. There is no doubt. There is nothing. There is no curiosity. There is no, I don't know how to explain. There is no doubt. There is just absolute clarity. When we have done the process and we have got to it, similarly, these scriptures are our Shabda Pramana, written by those who have had a direct perception of all this knowledge. And then when we keep seeking it within, our idea is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. When we keep contemplating on this and do our tapasya, then when we have that realization, it becomes direct perception for us. From Shabda Pramana, it becomes Pratyaksha Pramana. It cannot be shaken because right now there is a Pratyaksha Pramana.
Ma'am, if you have an experience, like you said your friend had that experience, then it's just momentary, na?
You'll never forget that. It just becomes real. And then you live your life. So, like in Buddhism or Zen, they say, you were a woodcutter before enlightenment, you are become a wood. We are continue to be a woodcutter after enlightenment. You are just continuing with the world, but there is no more agami karma. You are not anymore getting attached. There's no raga dvesha. There's no desire. Nothing. The world has fallen, you know, but you know that you just have to play your role as it is. So once a woodcutter, even after enlightenment, it is not something to be seen from outside. It is, if that person chooses to show it, you will see it. If that person chooses not to show it and lives the way they have been living, nobody will get to see it. Some of them choose to go around to the world and talk about it, so that the others can. They will sit, they will write. And there are so many sitting in the Himalayas who just want to be. They're just by elevating oneself, by themselves, just elevating yourself, there is an automatic elevation in the whole world, in the whole consciousness around.
See, just being in that process, you know, I don't know whether, you know, all of us experience that. It is that journey itself, you know, you see that, you know, I find myself, I mean, to be a lot calmer and, you
Yeah.
know, be able to, you know, not get so much perturbed with the things that goes on around. Like I'm no more, like I don't feel too overwhelmed with the news of a death, you know, like somebody has passed away. Yes, I do feel that, yeah, that person was there and think about it, but I don't feel the overwhelming sadness for that kind of a thing. So that has, I mean, that has come over a period of time, I think. I don't know, this thing, which where the, if you just contemplate on that, you know, the world is, yeah, you're just a mehman, you're just a guest for a few days, you know, then, and live like that, you know, like you live like a guest in your own house, and then you are ready to leave that place any time, you know. So like you leave a hotel room, you don't feel bad about staying in the, I mean, the
Yes,
hotel room did
because you
give
know that
you,
is not permanent. You don't get
yeah, you
identified
it
with the
did give you a
people.
lot of joy, a lot of comfort, and
Yeah,
probably more comfort than what you have in your own home.
but
See,
you know
maybe a
that is
jacuzzi,
impermanent.
yeah, maybe a jacuzzi, whatever it is, you know, like you have gone to a resort and whatever it is, but you, at the end of it, you want to be yourself, you want to come back to your own sthiti. I think this subtle comparisons that you go, I mean, it is the Markandeya's experience.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that subtlety that you find, and no, my mid places you may roam, but you want to come back and settle in your own home. So the home that brings you, because that place that gives you the steadiness, I feel,
Yes.
that steady mind, or that
That is the
calmness, or whatever you
Western.
can call the silence that you have. And you see lot of it. Sometimes you don't even feel like talking about anything. You know, you just want to be in that sthiti, they say, right?
So that
So
is why Shaunaka, so it is not like Shaunaka doesn't know this, but he asks this question. Why? To bring clarity to others. He knows. He knows, but he still asks this to bring clarity to others. So why is it that Shaunaka didn't experience this and Markandeya experienced it? What is a Mahapralaya? It is The dissolution of our individual ego. It is the dissolution of our individual ego. Yeah. Okay. Can we continue?
Yeah. Overpowered by the experience, Markandeya stood as though in a trance with his mind set on Narayana. Mahadeva and Parvati were passing by on the sky surrounded by the Pramatha Ganas. Parvati saw him and asked her lord to go near the rishi and bless him. They descended to the earth and appeared before Markandeya. Thrilled with their visit, he welcomed them with all the honor due to them. Flowers and incense welcomed them all, and he fell at their feet and offered words of prayers to them. Mahadeva then spoke to him. He said, because of your devotion to Narayana, you have obtained siddhi in everything, and you had been granted a boon by the Lord, and you were granted the privilege of knowing his Maya. You will live forever, and you will be famed as a Puranacharya. Men will benefit by the stories of the Lord, which you will relate to them. Oh, that is why Markandeya Purana only is there. Yeah.
So we have seen 2-3 things. We saw how Matsyavatara brings out Matsya Purana. Here it is Markandeya Purana, which comes out, and that is why he is called the Purana Acharya. So and he obtains many siddhis in everything. What is a siddhi? There are Ashta siddhis. You have Anima, Lagima, Garima, Mahima.
Yeah.
4, I got 4 more. It's like Anima is the power to become small. Garima is the power to become bigger. Lagima, like that, Lagima and Mahima. It has, there are many siddhis. I will look it up if it's possible. So this is how it is. Siddhis are the power to be able to
Anima, Mahima, Garima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, and Vashitva.
Yeah, so if Ishitva is whatever I desire, I can manifest that. Vashitva. So all these have meanings. Okay, so it is like, they say Hanuman became very small when he had to. And then when he had to, he could become very big when he had to burn Lanka. He could become light as a feather when he had to fly over to to Lanka from Bharata. So one is at the body level. That is, another is, the other way for us to relate to these siddhis is to say Anima, to become humble. To know when I can become small and humble and inconspicuous. Nobody needs to notice me. I'll be back right now. I'm happy. Here it is not needed for me to be noticed. Mahima, I choose to be noticed. And these come from a space of consciousness. I choose to be noticed. I feel light as a feather within, absolutely free, nothing holding me back. So each one can be also, this was done by, the Ashta Siddhis was beautifully, mapped like this by Ravanatirtha Swamigal, actually. Instead of, because the usual siddhis, even Shankaracharya has a siddhi of moving from one body to another if he chooses out of his own choice, which is also a siddhi. And then there are siddhis where some of them, some of the yogis, they can roll on fire and still the fire will have
Like
no effect on them.
Paramahamsa Ramakrishna walked on water, they say, right?
Yes, people can walk on water. All these are forms of siddhis. So siddhis, but
Even Jesus Christ walked on water.
yeah. So
Yeah.
siddhis in a way, it is, but it can seem like magic and it can derail a person. But they would always say that siddhis are not to be seen as the ultimate. The ultimate is the self, the consciousness, the higher reality. Stay with that. Because if you get caught in this, then you are going to get caught in ego again.
Yeah, just today only in the Mandukya Upanishad,
Class.
Raghuramji was mentioning that, not to intellectualize anything. He said that you start feeling with your heart, then everything seems, everything seems understandable to you. I mean, the more you start feeling he was
I know it.
emphasizing on the bhavana.
Mm.
He was emphasizing on the bhavana part of it. Actually, it is what you feel, what you this thing, and the siddhis are exactly the same thing. That how small or big, large you feel, it's your state.
It is your state, and not to get connected with it, because then it
Yes.
derail you. If you start using that too much, then it becomes about the ego. It is all about the mind, right? Again,
Yeah.
so to be connected and identified with the Supreme Atma Vichara. Who am I? Who am I? I am doing this thing. Just to be with what Ramana says. When I'm thinking, who is thinking? Always remember the source of the thinking. The source from which everything is coming. If I have to act, I will act, but never associate the doer to me. The doer is the Supreme.
It's like the flower, right? It will never have the intention to bloom. The flower blooms on its own. Like you try to bloom a flower, so you bring a lotus and you see the lotus blooming in the pond naturally, and you bring a lotus, which you bring, like you bring that mogu, right? You bring the bud because they pluck the buds, and that's how you bring it for your puja, Varamahalakshmi puja. I always feel that I'm not even offering that lotus to Lakshmi, the kind of lotus which I want to offer to is not bloomed. Even if you put it in your water at your home, it doesn't bloom the way you see blooming in the natural pond. Yeah.
It
So
is there. It is already
it
being
is there.
offered to God.
Yeah, it is
By
offered.
him. All the
Yeah,
insects, when they come and drink the nectar from the flower,
exactly.
all the bees, when they come and drink the nectar from the flower, or the birds come, and it is already being offered by him to him. Because
Yeah.
everything in creation is him only.
Mm.
Is a form of the Supreme. It is already being offered. But it is one bhava with which we want to offer a few flowers. But whatever you said is also actually beautiful, isn't it?
There's a beautiful song of Rabindranath about the flower telling, that Phool Bole. It itself is saying that I'm offering it to you. I come from you and I'm offering it to you, offering in your feet.
Yes.
Profound.
When it falls on the earth after it has gone through its time, that is also its own offering to Prithvi in a way. So it's going through its cycle as well. But it's okay. Many people take it, and it's the bhava which also counts. Offering to the God, knowing that it is from the God to the God. But then there are some people who get into this. We used to have a neighbor. All the plants in our garden would be bending across the fence to his house, because he would be pulling. He needed so many flowers. He would go to from the compound, from everybody's houses. He would pull the plant so much and get flowers. He had so many flowers in his house only, and he'll come and that. So now it is no longer about. It becomes one obsession. No, it is not that it is the flower or the beautiful thing, and it's an offering to God. No, now it has become an obsession. I want to go and collect all these flowers and give more and more and more. I liked plucking the flowers. It has become about my ego right now. I want to do the puja, and it's like we would fight with people. People will come and tell, we don't have the flowers for our puja. Can you? So it is causing this thing within people, a clash. So now Mahadeva and Parvati are passing above, and they say, because of your devotion to Narayana, you have obtained siddhi in everything. Mahadeva and his companion returned to the skies, and the Rishi Markandeya spent all his time thinking again and again of the unique experience he had. The great deluge and the beautiful child lying on the Ashwatha leaf. So basically, he got siddhis along with this. Mahadeva and Parvati come and they give siddhis along with this, and he kept thinking of this experience that he went through. We will continue with this. Or is it time? No, we'll read one paragraph. Sukanya. At the end of the pralaya, only the Lord was and nothing else. Out of the navel of the Lord appeared a lotus, and out of that lotus appeared Brahma. Marichi was born out of the mind of Brahma. Marichi's wife was Dakshayini, and their son was Kashyapa. Kashyapa's wife was Aditi, and their son was Surya. Surya's son was Shraddha, who had been Satyavrata during the previous kalpa. Ikshvaku was the son of Shraddha, who being the son of Vivaswat and also being Manu, is famed as Vaivaswata Manu. The line of Vaivaswata was called the Surya Vamsha, and later Ikshvaku Vamsha, since Ikshvaku was a great and famous king. Who was in the lineage of Ikshvaku? Who was in the lineage of Ikshvaku?
Sriram.
Lord Sri Rama. Yes,
Suryavanshi.
Suryavamshi. So after the pralaya, when the ego or the Jagat is destroyed, then there is creation again. Marichi was born out of the mind of Brahma. Now Marichi's wife was Dakshayini. Then there is Kashyapa and Kashyapa's wife. We have seen all of this. Kashyapa's wife was Aditi. All the devas are the children of Kashyapa had two wives, Diti and Aditi. All the devas are the children of Aditi. And all the asuras are the children of Diti. So now Surya's son was Shraddha, who had been Satyavrata during the previous kalpa. And now the line of Surya Vamsha, the Ikshvaku clan, he is coming. So we are seeing Surya Deva's son, who had been Satyavrata during the previous kalpa, Shraddha. Ikshvaku was the son of Shraddha. So we can make the connect. Satyavrata, who came as Shraddha, his son is Ikshvaku. He was a Surya Vamshi.
Ma'am, Kashmir is after Kashyapa Rishi, no? Kashmir
Yeah,
is his
yeah,
name.
that's what they say. It is based on Kashyapa. It is based on Kashyapa that Kashmir is there. That was a very, very Kashmir. Patanjali is from Kashmir. And so many, sorry, And Panini, the grammar person, Sanskrit grammar person, he is from Kashmir. This was a seat of scholars. Ayurvedic doctor Sushruta was from Kashmir. So many, it was the seat of great knowledge because it was closer to the Himalayas. It was the seat of great knowledge. But all now, so we will see what happens. But everything is happening as per time. Again, it's very important with everything that is happening around in the world. There will be fear. There will be doubt. Who is winning? Who is losing? There are so many fighting, saying we need war, we need everything back, we need. But it is best to, things are not in my control. Best to sit and observe what is happening, because we are not in a position to, we don't know what is happening. This is right. Why did he do this? Why he should not have done this? He should not have given up. There should not have been ceasefire. Or why did they go for war? War is not good. This is all our opinion. Does it even matter? Because ultimately we don't know what is happening inside. There are so many things. We are talking as Vyashti, but as our Vyashti individual, but in the Samashti, we don't know what is happening, right? There is so much. So just observe, prepare yourself, be alert, just know what is happening. Try not to take in too much vasanas based on the war. Again, it is not the time to take in vasanas. It is the time to just observe and act and do my duties. Endure through this period. Do my duties and go ahead. It is my duty, my way to serve the nation by just doing my work, my this thing, and being there with the people who are helping us on the borders and the government. That's all. In our mind, supporting and praying for them. That's it. We will continue with this in the next class.
Ma'am, even dislike and not even hate, even dislike for people from the other enemy nation would contribute to vasanas.
Dislike is dvesha.
Ma'am?
Raga dvesha. Dislike is dvesha.
Yeah. I mean, Pakistan is basically, we think they are our enemies or something like
So does the dvesha, do you think the dvesha within me knows that it is enemy, so it is okay, this dvesha is okay, this is this person, so this raga is okay, or this dvesha is okay? Is that how it works? What do you think?
I'm trying to stop myself, but I'm drawing very negative feelings toward a particular community. I mean,
Yeah. See, we have to move beyond hatred.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I tell they are right. I know they are wrong. And whatever they are wrong, whatever they are doing is wrong. And the right step has to be taken, but I don't hate them. I don't dislike them, because that hatred and dislike is something that flows through me. It affects me. It makes me hateful, because that emotion of hate is flowing through me.
This morning only, a 8-year-old girl asked me this question, that grandma, I don't know, they are talking about this Operation Sindoor. I don't understand what is going on. And I mean, I was like contemplating and trying to explain to her, not taking names, saying that what are we fighting against? And her grandfather was listening to what I was saying, and he was saying that there could not have been a better explanation. I said that we are fighting against. I asked her a few questions. She had an idea. I said, "Do you know what happened in Pahalgam?" He said, "Yes, some people bad people killed some people." I said, "I don't know they're bad or good, but they are not supposed to." You are not supposed to kill each other that way. And innocent people. I mean, there are a lot of questions I had to ask her. What is innocence? What is everything? And then when I explained to her that we are fighting against terrorism, and which is not allowed, which you have to stand up to that. It was a pretty, I mean, convincing. Her grandfather acknowledged that to me, that, yeah, I think there could not have been a better experience. So I think we need to, it's not about hate, as you said, that hate incites hate. So
But in
hating,
the process of not hating, we can't, 8-year-old, this is good enough. Annapurna ji.
yeah,
Okay, we can't tell too many things for an 8-year-old. It is
exactly.
not
Yeah.
process everything. But even as adults, sometimes it is not that we don't tell the whole truth. We still face the whole truth. We are honest. We say there are Islamic terrorists
Yeah.
who do this. And there are a lot of people who are doing this. So, but in that whole process,
Acknowledging that it was the heinous act was conducted in the name of a religion and
religion,
in the
but
name
that
of
doesn't
a
mean they
certain
are the only
itself
ones who
is not
represent.
acceptable. It is
Yes.
not acceptable. So, that is what, I mean, Krishna also said to Arjuna, right? This is not the time to lament and say that Guru Nahatvani
What is
Mahanubhava. You
wrong
cannot
is
say that.
wrong.
Yeah.
And
So
that has
it
to
is,
be stated. In that whole
yeah.
process, many people, because I don't want to have hatred, doesn't mean I whitewash what they did.
No, absolutely not. And
Isn't
it
it?
could be anybody. Anybody
Yes.
who incites hate should be, could be.
Yes, Divya.
Ma'am, how do you hate the act without hating the person or without the
How,
perpetrator?
yeah, that's what you separate. See, there is a separating the person also. It's not about the person, it's not about the act, it is about you. I don't want to hate.
Exactly.
It's not about the other person at all, or about what they did or their act. The act is wrong, the person who is doing it is also wrong. But why should I hate that person?
No, that is the thing, right? In the 10th chapter, that is what he says. Once you say that I am in everything.
Yeah.
So Krishna says that once you give that darja to him, that he is in everything, then you cannot hate.
So he is
How?
also probably acting the way he is acting in the world and the Jagat level. They are, whatever they are doing is wrong. But then this whole thing is happening because of a larger plan somewhere. Even the Asuras would do this only, right? If you look at
Yeah.
all the Asuras were very believed in God. Whether you say Bali, Hiranyakashipu didn't. Okay. So now these are probably something like
Ravana was a great devotee
he was
of
a great
Shiva.
devotee,
Oh,
Ravana.
Shiva. Yes.
They were all devotees, but yet they acted against. They thought it was all about them and their belief and their revenge and their ideology. But they were dedicated to God also. So it is almost like a fight between Asuras and Devas here. It is happening because of a larger this thing. So then if we know in everything, when we go beyond Raga Dvesha to Samatva by knowing that all this is being ordained and happening in the larger consciousness. Everything is coming from him and going back into him. There is some large design why this is happening. So I can tell that there is some large design that is happening. So that way I can be peaceful. I just be an observer to whatever.
I mean, if you see that, I mean, all those generals who are reporting the events, what happened. I mean, it was the kind of samatva they have.
Absolute samatva, no emotion.
Absolutely.
They are fighting there, but when they are fighting, they will bring the anger because they have to go
Yeah.
there and they have to. But when
They
they are
are
sitting and
saying
telling
it in such a calm manner and
in
what
so
is
such an
just
objective way.
precise. Yeah, precise, what is necessary for the world to know. I mean, I saw a lot of divinity in what they were saying.
Hmm.
Actually, they were saying what is their intention, how they have
I
neutralized,
think
it,
we have
what they have
acted in a
done.
very, very,
Very, very nice.
I mean, we have to do what we have to do. What is wrong is wrong. We
Exactly.
have to, it is all for dharma. At the end
Yes.
of it, terrorism, those who are trying to create fear in people's mind, we will remove that. But we do it in measured form. We go and only, attack the military bases and, the things like that being done. Imagine they are not having hatred. To not
Yes.
have that hatred is so
No,
important for
jingoism
people
not,
act there.
yeah, no jingoism. No
No
jingoism.
jingoism.
Yes.
So just to know that.
In fact, all those podcasts which are who have worked and who have been to Pakistan and seen that kind of whatever the hatred being propagated and other things, even those people they are saying that yes, I mean this is what it is. And he was giving the example that today morning only Raghuramji was giving an example. He went to Turkey and he was stranded in a airport or something like that, and somebody came and says that आपको हिंदी आती है? So Raghuram ji thoda thoda aata hai. I am from South. He asked, where are you from? Bangalore. So Raghuram ji asked him, I said, where are you from in India? He said, no, I'm not from India. I'm from Pakistan. He said, it's. So he was saying that, and still he went and he got him a coffee and whatever.
I have
That
worked
you
with
should see
Pakistanis.
yeah, exactly. I
I
mean,
have worked with Pakistanis. They are just like us. They work.
yeah. I
But they
mean,
have their own image. But when you get down to Kashmir, they will say, I think Kashmir should be part of it.
yeah.
They'll say that.
No,
This is my subjective reality based on the conditionings I have in my country, the way
no,
my.
I think when I talked to this 8-year-old, she said that they say that the Kashmir, Pakistan says Kashmir belongs to them. I said, you are an Indian and you should know that Kashmir belongs to you, that it is a part of India. I think we need to go back to our schools and educate our own children, saying that this is what that is what we did when it was Kargil war. We were not able to understand what is this Kargil war, why is the enemy down and we are up and all those things. We
Time
could not
actually.
understand that.
Hmm.
So the army personnel came to our school from army base in Pune, and they explained to us with the terrains and everything. It was such a
Yeah.
educative thing,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
We have to make it educative because when
yeah,
we hate, when we are
exactly,
hateful, we cannot do the
exactly,
education.
exactly, yeah.
When we are conscious and go beyond the like and dislike, then we can actually educate ourselves and educate others.
Yeah, the element of empathy emerges in us. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Anyway.
So it is a process to come out of it. There was a time when I also had a strong dislike, Rajeshri, but I realized it was being counterproductive. It is going to, that anger in me is going to poison me.
Yes, exactly.
It is only going to poison. It is not. That is what they want. We don't want to be poisoned. It is not worth that. Let us keep the love, but be straight. What is wrong is wrong. What is being done, we have to be objectively be able to look at it, not go with our emotions. Oh, you, so many people are dying in this war. Should have just been quiet. No. Some people are also saying that on the other extreme. You have to do what you have to do. Can't be quiet also. So both are okay. We just need to, whenever you feel that dislike coming up, anybody, just tell yourself, they are like that because of their hate. I don't want to be like that.
Again, the same thing. Who am I? Who am I to hate?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am not that hate. It
Who
is
am
that
I?
hate
I'm
which is
not
making them
that.
do that. Do I want to also nurture the same hate?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the very moment you get that answer, it is a no,
Yeah.
So that itself reiterates that you don't want that thing to happen to you.
You don't want to become like them.
Become like them. Yeah, exactly.
Tattvamasi.
Yeah. And we want more people like that in the world, right? People who are not like them.
Yes.
So are you one of them? If you are one, you are the one. Then you will make the difference, actually. Yeah. Thank you so much, Aarti.
Yes. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Let's pray for Shanti.
Hari Om.
Adi
Thank you,
Bhauvika,
ma'am.
Adi Devika, and Adhyatmika. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.